Hello guys, and welcome back to a new episode of Inside My Head. I caught this 2099 rated guy, and you might ask why I'm playing against such lower rated opponents like them. The reason why I often accept challenges of that kind is because sometimes it allows me to explain strategies and plans far better because of the somewhat limited resistance. And so it serves better educational purposes than playing a very tight game where the motifs that are being explained are more obscure and harder to understand. This time we have got a Sicilian on our hands, and bishop e2 here is not really a particularly good move, and strongest response to it is considered to be e5, fighting immediately for the center. But it results in a rigid structure that is not necessarily easy to play and understand, whereas e6 would transpose into the Shayaniran, which is something that I do play a lot. On the other hand, if I play e6, I basically let him get away with what he wants to do, which is to transpose into structures that he likes. So after a bit of tossing up as to what to do, and in general this is what I recommend you to do in all your openings, when your opponent comes up with an inferior move compared to the main lines, which would have been bishop g5 or bishop c4, you immediately go for the most ambitious way to play the opening. So never be satisfied with half measures. So it's bishop e7, castles. And funnily enough, in this line, black actually draws the knight back to b8 and then brings it back to d7. The point of playing h3 is not to allow anything to go to g4, but actually it's more important that I do the same, because his plan is to play against the d5 square, and bishop g5 and then swapping off this this knight would allow him an easy access to the d5 square. So ugly as it is, h6 here is actually a justified move, because this way I'm denying that swap. And now I'm going to develop my bishop here, and now I'm threatening to play d5. And he messed up his opening entirely. The normal way of playing it is rook e1 and then bishop back, so that d5 can never be executed, because then the e5 pawn would hang. But this is very a shallow way to play this opening compared to some of the main lines where I plays bishop g5, queen d2 and then castles. And this is why I highly recommend everyone to play proper main lines, because after like playing 10 moves, I'm already slightly better out of the opening as black. That is a disaster. You can't play chess like that, because yeah, it leads to nowhere. And it's not like I had to play difficult moves. I played stock standard random moves. Sorry, by random I mean stock standard moves that would have occurred to anybody. I just put my pieces out on the best squares, I castled, and I'm already better as black. That's not acceptable. Now the only sad part of this whole business from my point of view is that it's going to basically transpose into an endgame, which is not sad in itself. It's just that it's going to be a bit tricky to convert the advantage, because that advantage is very limited. It basically manifests in the fact that I've got better piece mobility and better central control, and consequently my pawn majority is actually more useful than his. When you hear people talking about the queenside pawn majority as an advantage, it normally applies to positions where white has got a significant presence in the center, and so these two pawns can't roll. If you look at the current position, my kingside pawn majority is far more of a dominant feature of this position than his queenside majority, because all these pawns are at home. It's very difficult to envisage how they could be rolled up without being exposed. Whereas my dudes are just going up like there was no tomorrow. How is it possible, by the way, that I'm so much shorter on time than him? b3 is a really mysterious move. I mean, granted, he probably wants to play c4. So I'm torn between rook d8 and f5, but I reckon it's gonna be rook d8. And I expect him to take plays c4, I drop back. The problem with c4 is that it actually shortens the diagonal of the bishop, and it also takes away a very important square from that knight, and it also weakens the d4 square. And whilst it does gain the d5 square, it's a lot easier to see how I can gain control of this than how he could gain control of this. So I'm just playing very consistent and logical chess. Bishop belongs here, pawn up, and just keep on rocking forward. Even g5 is actually on the cards, gaining space and pushing all these pawns up. It's very annoying. He's making another very common mistake, and that is that he thinks that because of his swapping pieces, he's basically getting closer to a draw. But that's not necessarily the case. In fact, rooks are very good pieces to keep on the board when you want to achieve a draw, because rook endings tend to have a very drawish tendency. Whereas if I removed all the pieces from the board except for the wide square bishops, I would already be way ahead, because of the pawn structure that is fixed on white. And now he keeps on making very, very passive moves. I mean, granted, he wanted to play bishop here and then knight in, but I will never allow him to do that. And as a direct result of his passivity, he's going to find it difficult to find constructive moves to build on his position. Like, look at that. That's just a picture-perfect image of how not to place your pieces. And I'm taking important squares away again. So even if he drops the knight here, he can't go either way there. And knight e3, not really that much of a worry. Plus after knight c2 I can play f4 and deny that too. I really am enjoying this position, despite of the fact that it's dead even, because my prospects are so much better than his simply based on my more active play. I mean, more than likely this is still a draw, don't get me wrong. After all, no material has been swapped and no material has been gained. I'm really tempted to play b6 and f4. Actually, I'll just play f4 and if he comes here I will just bring the boss a bit closer. Or I can play knight d4 or b6. Choices. Let's play b6 first, kicking the bishop out and thereby granting the d4 square to me. Now I can go knight d4. I'm a bit paranoid about this bishop c2, but maybe I shouldn't be. Because what I'm saying is that after king f7, bishop c2, if I play bishop f5, he has got f3, and I'm pinned. The reason why I don't want to play knight d4 is because I don't like the swaps after knight c2. But then again, I can just drop back to f5 and deny the swap. And then he comes down here and he becomes annoying down there. Decisions. And then I also have bishop d4, which is quite an interesting move, because after bishop c2 I would have e3, although that would allow the knight's return. Haha, but then I have bishop f5. I like this. And the idea is, if he plays knight c2, I will play bishop c5, fixing the pawns on white. Score, baby, score. I think that was a rather good move, actually. An unusual case when you occupy a weak square with a bishop instead of a knight. Purely because I didn't want to swap knights. Not yet, anyway. So if knight c2, I drop back here. If swap, I take back. And then I will also be threatening with knight d4. And look how, because of I marched up these pawns to the center, how much easier my path is towards the center than his. Hang on, what was the plan against this? Oh yeah, just here. So, and now I'm in the center in 2 moves with a tempo, whereas in 2 moves he's nowhere. And he doesn't even have a chance to be anywhere near me. f3. Someone is being cute. Alright, let's swap that dark squared bishop off, shall we? Oh, knight e2, dirty. e3 takes. Knight b4, bishop there, knight here. Oh, knight takes wins. Okay, so knight, bishop here, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight e2 loses to e3. Bishop takes bishop. Pawn takes knight, threatening the queen. Bishop back, knight b4, bishop back. Knight takes, and then knight c3. That's beautiful. Okay, let's do that. He didn't want to do this, so now I'm just marching my king to the center. And I will guard the bishop, so that means that the knight is going to awkwardly hang. h4. So now I can go here and win a pawn, right? Because then h4 will be unguarded. If he takes, I take, he takes. Oh, sorry, if I take. Okay, one more time. He has to take, I take back. He takes down here, I come back, I win. I mean, g4, oh, actually g4, g3 was winning too. That would have been even more to the point, so that was a slight inaccuracy. But either way, we are winning. Yeah, that was a little bit inaccurate. I think that g4 would have been more thematic in that position, because now I stepped into this check. I mean, even here I'm winning lots of pawns he can't take because of check, so he needs to let go of that and that. Yeah, that's game. Actually, he's only going to lose one pawn because after knight f3 I can't win this for free, but neither do I want to. I want to keep my pawns together for the sake of keeping them in one chain, because if I take on here and he does 4 isolated pawns, that's ugly as sin. So I'm just going to go up. Also important, as you can see, that I'm not in a hurry to execute threats. And this way he just walked into a fork and resigned. GG. Alright, let's play a rematch. I think I explained that endgame well enough so that I don't need to go back to that. Caro-Kann. The Caro-Kann Panov is a very good system for those who like to attack. And sadly he played the knight c6 system, which is not really one. Whoa. Where white gets to attack an awful lot. Sorry, I just got an important text in. I'm pretty sure it's theory to take here and then knight c3 and then take queen d4. And then knight b5? Or bishop e3 first and then queen takes, rook takes. Yeah, I don't know. I will be a chicken this time. If knight f6 you transpose into one of the main lines of the Caro-Kann Panov. If he takes there, I'm thinking that after knight f6 I can't. Oh yeah, I can actually transpose. So knight f6 takes, knight d5 and queen b3 is going to transpose into the main line of the Panov. If he takes after d5, knight here, I've got bishop takes c4, maybe f4 even, bishop f4 even, so lots of moves are possible there. So now we are about to transpose. So after knight takes d5, queen b3, he's hanging here and here. Theoretical move is e6 or knight b6. Everything else is supposed to be really, really bad. And I don't think that he knows theory, because we got to this position in a very crooked way. What I was thinking about was that here I think c takes d5 is a legitimate move. Queen takes, knight c3, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen d4, bishop e3, queen d1, rook d1, with an awful lot of initiative for the piece. Now e6 is best, and after castles we will land in a very violent position where I'm about to crack it open with d5 for my 2 bishops, but my king is a little bit insecure. So this is all theory. Take knight takes, rook takes, queen c7, king b1, castles, pawn f4 is how theory goes. And normally the whole position is about the incredible power of the 2 bishop that, funnily enough, I exploit by placing this guy here and then exerting a lot of pressure onto those 2 pawns in particular. And very often queens get swapped off and the endgame is just superb for white. Yeah, I don't know about this. This looks very dubious. Because I just simply come here and all good. Queen doesn't have a good square to go to. Actually, queen b6 I always have to watch out for because of this swing across check. But even after rook d7, queen check, bishop e4, I seem to be in the driving seat. Yeah, he's dead. Because now this is hanging, and if knight c6 after rook d7 hanging, the knight is hanging and the bishop is hanging, everything is hanging. I missed this check, but once again bishop e4 covers everything. Woof! Speaking of which, if knight c6 I can't go rook d7 because of the check, so I have to go first here. And then either penetrate, or if he drops back then just simply double up. Please note if the queen goes here, the knight is also pinned. A very deceptive position because I'm pretty sure that he was in the false belief that he was attacking me here on the queen side. And the reality is that he's going to lose this game on the queen side. As you can see, no harm has been done to me at all. Queen swaps are always welcome. Do I go in right away and win this pawn? Or do I first do a bit of torture with rook c1? Nah, I'm going in. And that's pretty much it. It's game now, because if he wants to avoid losing this, he has to cover it with some awkward move, in which case after bishop takes he loses the bishop. So he had to move the bishop, which meant an immediate loss of that pawn without any particular counterplay. Please note that whilst my pawns are ugly as sin, they are actually very difficult to attack. Oh, oh god. Okay. I just walked into what you saw I walked into. Wow. Okay, I suppose the rook back anywhere. Literally, rook b4 is what I would have probably preferred to stop knight c4, but rook anywhere, rook b6 even would have won the game. Instead, I decided to blunder in exchange, which is a very embarrassing moment of the Inside of My Head series, because that was definitely not inside my head. So, the picture has changed. I am totally dead. Like 100%, because I can never swap rooks, because as soon as I do, a rook appears on the b file and I'm just losing this. Slight embarrassment. So the best I can do is actually to plant the bishop on b4. Which sadly is going to allow him to then swing across and munch on these. Actually, after rook b8 I can resign on the spot. No, I can't, because of rook c8 still saves me. Whew. Goody. 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 So after rook f5, white resigns. Maybe I play rook c4 and then bishop c6. Well, I'm going to give him a good run for his money. As I said, I upload everything I record, and I managed to walk into this ridiculously stupid one-move blunder because I was already drinking champagne and celebrating my victory. So we'll see how we go. That's a very passive move, by the way. I don't quite understand it. Okay, let's go here. Hoping for rook d7 when I can attack this. And if rook d8, then yep, okay. Mind you, after rook d4, he's going to munch a fair bit here. Unless he chickens out and sacrifices on b4. We'll see. So rook d4 is granted. And then after bishop takes a4, I have got the two connected passes. So technically, I have a very good chance there to do some damage. Whoa! Whoa! Isn't this free? Wow. That's very interesting. Okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna push the heck out of these pawns. That's for sure. Yep. What now, bro? Chucky? Okay, I have to duck away. Oh, actually, I don't have to. I can come back. The advantage of coming back is that after rook c4 I have bishop d6 and I'm still not losing anything. I actually prefer that. I hate to put my own pieces in pins. Don't do that at home, kids. But and yeah, and now I'm actually threatening with a4. So the top priority is to keep the pawns rolling, so there was no need for me to keep the bishops in front of my pawns. I want to clear the path immediately. This is a feature of amateurs play that annoys me the most when I'm teaching them. Like in my students' game, it pops up a lot. They have got two connected pass pawns like this, and they wouldn't push them for the love of God. And they come up with a great variety of random IDs and random justifications as to why not. And it's just very, very disappointing to see, because these pawns need to be pushed. That's my only hope. Now this check is threatened, and granted I can block it. I'm just considering the pros and cons of swapping the dark square bishop, but once again, these are my hopes. So the further they up, the better my hopes are. And the reason why I was reluctant to swap this bishop off, because it kept that king at bay, which they no longer do, sadly. But yeah, I didn't have a choice there. Or if I really wanted to have a choice, I should have thought about it here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Please note that I only separated my pawns just far enough from one another so that if the top one gets attacked, the further one behind is still ready to jump in to defend. So pushing it one more further up would separate these pawns very, very badly and irreparably. That's definitely not gonna happen. Now he's hunting this pawn, which is the most ridiculous idea he could come up with in this position, because his house is on fire and he's very busy with totally ignoring it. So now I think he's losing, actually, because those two pawns don't appear to be stopped. In fact, I'm quite tempted to come here to deny even that move from the bishop. Oh, whatever. Let's just keep on rolling. Whoa, did I just blunder this now? Look at that, rook c5. And because if I'm pinned, I can't guard the pawn. And after b6 takes b7, he can go behind. Oh, I'm talking total nonsense. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. Of course, that was guarded. Wow. I'm talking a lot of rubbish today. And blundering a lot of rubbish too. Actually, after b6 rook here, I can't stop him sacking the bishop for both of the pawns, which is certainly a scenario I desperately want to avoid. So let's push that guy up first. But then bishop b6. So let's get the heck out of this pin first. But now I have to be vigilant of this too. Mind you, bishop on e4 is beautifully covering both that and that. So that doesn't really worry me for the time being. But golly gosh, this endgame has been misplayed rather badly by both parties. Okay. So now I'm actually threatening with b6 because after rook b8 I can push it further up and the bishop supports it. So that's good news, because finally again my pawns are ready to rock and roll. And once I push this guy up here and this guy up here, all I need to do is to put my dark squared bishop on this diagonal. So king here, bishop here is gonna do the trick. He's basically forcing my pieces onto better squares, which is something that you shouldn't be doing, because by forcing my bishop to move up here, he's basically encouraging me to execute this plan. h2, I'm not scared. In fact, he just stepped into this now. I also could have played bishop. No, I couldn't, because then h2. This is the safer option. Just simply push up there. The rook will eventually have to, well, it doesn't matter where it goes, a6, and then king here, bishop here is going to be the winning motive. He didn't want to wait for that. Okay, let's go queen here. Reason being, I'm threatening to take the rook and cover down there. I'm threatening to take this pawn, and on rainy days I can even come here and with the check cover the promotion square. But probably first and foremost, oh, queen e5 is already winning almost because of this is hanging and mate, but he has got f6, but then I can check this pawn down. So queen e5, rook check, king a4, f6. Oh, but then queen. Oh, okay. So this turns out to be winning a rook after all. So please note the double attack. And now please note this double attack is going to fall for it unless he plays f5, which gives away too much stuff. That hurts. Okay, this game was a total disaster with a lot of nonsense, but even here I think I managed to demonstrate a couple of important ideas, and I just would like to go back to this endgame. So from here on, it's anybody's game, and he started to play very funky moves. Bishop d4 is already a bit sus, in my opinion, because it's basically pawn hunting in a position where my pawns are about to roll. Now, if he can't stop the pawns, which I believe he could have at least for a bit more, then of course he should actively seek for counterplay in shape of pinching a few pawns and creating his own pass pawns, but it feels too slow. One interesting move would have been rook b8, which basically means I can't push my pawn because of the bishop is hanging, and I can't really move the bishop because then the pawn is hanging. I can't bring the king up because then the pawn hanging again. So this seems like a very static scenario where we have a static equilibrium where we can't really do anything because of the way how the pieces are laid out. Instead, the pawn grabbing resulted in me basically running all my pawns up to the 5th. Now we know that if they are on the 6th, a rook can't hold them anymore by itself. Now he has a bishop, but I have 2. Now according to the computer here, bishop e3 would have been best, which I indicated that was a potentially very good move. The reason why I didn't do that because I thought that after h6 pawn up g5 his bishop would have come back on time, but I can see very clearly now that it was total la-la land, and in fact after b7 rook here a6 it's game, and shame on me for not doing that. As in here, bishop up, pawn up, b5, g5, b6, and after gf, yeah, maybe b7, rook here. Yeah, it's a calculating exercise, so I'm not necessarily sure that my choice was much worse. And yeah, this from here on was just an easy matter of pushing these pawns in. So the way how this would have ended is, let's assume he plays rook d8, I play a6, he plays h2, I play king c4, he does something, and now all I need to do once again is to put this bishop on this diagonal somewhere, anywhere. And the way how we do that is bishop here, king random, bishop up. And he can't stop this. G to the G, GG. If he gives an annoying check, just get out of it. Now queen is threatened, so he has to go home. And bishop c5 wins again. As you can see, I'm not overly nervy about that because my bishop covers it 100%. And in the game, he actually gave up on this and opted for this scenario when queen e5 would have won immediately. Okay, I missed that, although I guess queen rook g6 is playable here. I think mine was a bit more sneaky because I was hitting a lot more stuff. And yep. Eventually that ended up in an easy win. Here. And we won the game. So, I would say rather easy wins, although the second one, the exchange blunder didn't really help my cause. Perfect opening, absolutely picture perfect. But here, as per indicated, rook b4 would have led to a very, very crystal clear victory. I actually did defeat a fair few number of very high rated opponents in this line, because once again it's a very deceptive one where it feels like we're getting hacked, but in fact what's happening is that we're just winning an endgame. Bang. And these two bishops supporting these pawns like in the game is just a ridiculous power. So that was it, guys, for today with Inside My Head. A bit of a unique business today because I played horrendously, but in the end it still paid off. And especially in the first game, I was able to demonstrate some cool strategies, so I hope you liked that one, guys. Alrighty, thanks for watching, and make sure that you come back for more. Bye.